Prime Minister Zoran Milanovic and 6 other members of his cabinet held a press conference today under the slogan Together to EU Funds to announce that until 2020 Croatia will be able to draw over 10 billion euros from various EU funds and that 1.12 billion are available this year. The members of the government placed the emphasis on the possibilities for Croatian businesses. The Prime Minister said their objective is to move financing of public projects entirely out of the budgetary sphere, which increases a deficit, by using the money available from the EU. Adding that this will not be simple, Deputy Prime Minister Branko Grčić noted that these funds also amount to an entire yearly budget. The deadline for binding bids to purchase the Immunology Institute, a strategically vital national company, expires tomorrow. A concern called Vizija Croatica has raised over 1 million Croatian kuna with help from Croatian citizens throughout the country to be able to participate in the tender. An additional 3 firms are also in the process of conducting a due diligence. A spokesman for the Vizija concern said on Croatian radio this morning that they actually oppose privatization and their bid constitutes an attempt to keep the institute as publicly owned as possible. Meanwhile, the union representative for the Institute's staff pointed out that restoring the Institute's expired production license is the single most vital factor to its continued existence. It appears likely that Culture Minister Andrea Zlatar Violic will resign. She has been subject to much media scrutiny recently due to questionable use of ministry credit cards and travel expense statements by herself and several members of her staff. Ivan Vrdoljak, the Economic Affairs Minister and Deputy Chair of the Croatian People's Party, to which Zlatar Violic belongs, said that the party leadership is intensively discussing her departure from the cabinet. However, a problem is that the party does not have many people who specialize in cultural affairs, and there seems to be little interest in assuming this portfolio in the current government's final year in office. The European Parliament's Legal Affairs Committee is expected to vote on a request for the waiver of Croatian MEP Ivan Jakovčic's parliamentary immunity. The request was filed by Austrian businessman Georg List, who accused Jakovčić of seeking a 500,000 euro bribe from him in order to construct a polo facility near the Istrian town of Motovun. The committee's vote is close to the public, and their decision will be submitted to the European Parliament. The Taste of Croatia project has already covered many of the specialties from Croatia's regions, including the coastal Dalmatian Istria to Slavonia in the east, and some restaurants in Croatia's northwestern regions of Zagorje and Međimurje have secured this certification by offering authentic local cuisine. Although many of restaurants offer fast food because it's cheaper, these establishments focus on genuine regional specialties because that's what tourists want the most. In sports, Croatia's national soccer team reunited this week after a 4-month break to get ready for their European Championship qualifier against Norway this Saturday. The team held a practice in Zagreb's Maksimir Stadium that was open to the public, but some of the biggest names like Luka Modric and Mario Mandžukić sat out these activities due to minor injuries or other ailments. And finally, the weather forecast for the rest of the day. Conditions on most of the coast, the Dalmatian interior, and the western highlands will be unstable, with clouds accompanied by little rainfall. Skies will be partially clear in most other areas, with generally dry conditions. Winds will be light inland, while Scirocco winds will intensify on the coast, reaching strong and even gale force intensity on the open seas by day's end. The sea surface will be moderately to rather wavy, while visibility will range from 10 to 20 kilometers. The afternoon's temperatures will range from 13 to 18 degrees Celsius throughout the country. Clouds will build up inland tomorrow and be accompanied by scattered rainfall as temperatures drop slightly. Such conditions will persist until Friday, with occasional rainfall expected on Thursday in particular, when temperatures should rise again. Skies will be mostly overcast and conditions rainy on the Adriatic coast over the coming days, with the possibility of heavier showers in the south especially. Strong and even storm-force Scirocco winds will blow. Conditions will vary on Thursday as rainfall persists while winds will die down. Skies will clear up by Friday and conditions will be dry as moderate to strong Bora winds blow.